Alright, so none of the teams made it to the Western Conference Finals yet. Um, but you got Chicago and Detroit, who played last night, and you got LA and San Jose, who are playing tonight, the Battle of California. Um, Last night was a must win for Chicago, and they did win. Um, but it was obvious they were gonna win. I mean, like, no team is ever gonna beat Chicago. Well, this season, no team would ever beat Chicago 4 games in a row. No team has ever beat them 3 times in a row. Um, did a team ever beat them 2 times in a row? I don't think. I I don't know, but I know a team hasn't beat them 3 times in a row until Detroit Red Wings this playoffs, and I knew they weren't gonna beat them 4 times in a row at home when it's a must win for Chicago. I mean, Chicago has to win that game. Game 6 will be tough. It could go to anybody. This is like a game 7 for both teams. Because I say if Chicago wins game 6, they're going to win game 7 too. Because they have the momentum winning 2 straight. And they're at home for game 7. So I think this is a must win for Chicago. I mean, yeah, obviously for Chicago. But it's a must win for Detroit too. Detroit, I kind of called it. I kind of said, well, I didn't call it, but everyone knew that they were going to win Game 5. But I think they're going to win. I think Red Wings are going to win in Game 6. I think they're going to close out the series and go to the Western Conference Finals. Because Detroit, they're hockey town. They're way too good, you know? It's like the first word when you say hockey. If you say hockey, the first team you think of is Detroit Red Wings, you know? Hockey town. The first word when you hear football, Green Bay. First word when you hear basketball, any team. Usually, right now, it'd be the Miami Heat. But we're not talking about basketball. We're talking about right here, the president of hockey. And Red Wings, they're on fire. I mean, people were thinking, like, are they going to make the playoffs? I thought they were going to make the playoffs. And they did. They were like the Lakers this year, except they had their ups and downs, but they made it to the playoffs, and everyone thought it was going to be a tight series, Anaheim and Red Wings, because Red Wings had momentum going into the playoffs, and it was a good series, back and forth, back and forth. They won every other game. There was a new winner every game. There was a new winner. There was 3 series ties, and everyone thought, you know, it went Anaheim, Detroit, Anaheim, Detroit, Anaheim, Detroit. Everyone thought it was gonna be um, Anaheim winning because obviously that was the rhythm. That was like, I don't know how to explain it, but everyone thought they were gonna win it. And me, I just had a feeling Red Wings were gonna win it because Zetterberg just got hot. Like he wasn't good the whole playoffs, whole round, whole series. Until game 6, he just got on fire. And I was surprised because that was his first playoff overtime winner. That was his first. I mean, you think of the career he had. You think he'd have at least one? Nope, that was his first. That's crazy. Especially at home when it's a do or die situation. Go big or go home. And he did. That was so sick. But right then, I knew they were going to win it because Zetterberg, he finally got it. He finally got. Because if he were to do good, then Red Wings would have won. And he did do good, and guess what happened? Red Wings won Game 7. And I knew they were going to win because Zetterberg did good. And then next round, obviously for Chicago, they lost Game 1. And they won 3 straight. That's crazy. And they obviously lost Game 5. But I think they're going to win Game 6. I mean, they're great. And, they're unstoppable. I mean, especially they got Jimmy Howard as their goaltender. Jimmy Howard, great, obviously. Definitely one of the most underrated goaltenders ever. Got Datsuk. I mean, do you know a better ankle breaker? Yeah, ankle breaker in ice hockey than Datsuk. Pavel Datsuk is so crazy. I mean, like instead of deking, like you shouldn't even have. You shouldn't even say I deked you out. You should say I Pavel docked you. Why I can't even say it. Pavel doxed you out. Like I doxed you out. Now Datsuk doesn't even sound like a word because I said it so many times. Datsuk, but Datsuk, he's great. I mean, obviously great, and they're just a great hockey team. I mean, Kendall has been playing great lately. Um, and they're just a good hockey club. Hockey club, did I really just say that? Hockey team. Watching too much soccer lately, but they're a really good hockey team. Hockey team. Hockey team. Um, Again, watching too much soccer. They're a great hockey team, and I think they will beat Chicago in Game 6. But next series, or next round, we got the Anaheim, no, not Anaheim, they're out. You got LA and San Jose. Battle of California. I think they should be rivals, you know? It's like I know they don't act like rivals, like they don't get in physical fights, but I mean, you're fighting for the fans, you know? It's like some people in between LA, San Jose don't know which one to choose for. I mean, they both have ups and downs. Like last year San Jose was a better, well, in the regular season last year, San Jose was a better team. This year, LA was a better team. In the regular season, obviously, LA won the Stanley Cup last year. So they got more fans than San Jose from that championship. So, San Jose, you got to fight, you know? You got to get physical with LA because the crowd was cheering, like, beat LA in games 3 and 4. I bet they're gonna be yelling, screaming Game 6, even though they know they're down. They know it's home game. I know San Jose fans are gonna be yelling, screaming. It's gonna be so loud in the building. They're gonna be chanting, "Beat LA, we want the cup," all that good stuff, and that's gonna be good for San Jose. And I think this will go to a Game 7. Every team has won at home, and if they do force a Game 7, anything can happen. Anything can happen in Game 7. I mean, look what the Bruins did a couple years ago. Every team won at home. Game 7, Bruins destroyed them in Game 7 4-0. So anything can happen. And I like San Jose. I think they're going to win Game 6 and win Game 7. Yes, I'm saying that. I like San Jose. I like their goaltending, Antti-Niemi. I mean, their goaltending's great. Their forwards are great. And, I mean, you got Joe Thornton. Such, like, even though he's good, like, even though people say he's good, I think he's still underrated. I mean, you see how much goals he scored? It's like, I bet my friend like $200 that he wouldn't score a game, and he scored a game. He scored that game. So I'm never um, paying against him, you know? So, he's great, you know? Him and Antti-Niemi, they're the big two of San Jose. If they weren't there, they'd be nothing. I mean, you got a couple good players, but I'm never gambling against. I mean, I'm never gambling against Joe Thornton. Um, and they're all good players. I mean, they're gonna play great Game 6. I know it. I think they're gonna win it. I mean, but LA could win Game 6. I mean, look what the Indiana Pacers did versus Atlanta Hawks. Every team went at home until Game 6 when Indiana won the series. And a lot of people are saying LA's closing it out. A lot of people are saying this is also LA's Game 7. If they don't win it, they're going to be nervous for Game 7 because they did not play Game 7 last year, remember? They steamrolled through the playoffs, you know? So, they don't have Game 7 experience. They have championship experience, not Game 7 experience. So, we'll see. San Jose has played Game 7s in the past, and they're definitely underrated. Like, everybody thought Canucks were going to steamroll through them in the first round. Not Chicago, what am I saying? San Jose swept, so they're definitely an underrated team. And they have ups and downs in the season. They have highs and lows throughout, but this